Federated congratulates all participants in Prep Ball 1. Now, here's Channel 5's Bob.
You're looking, of course, at the inside of the Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome, and for the first time ever, Minnesota high school football comes to the Metrodome. Hello again, everyone. I'm Bob Bruce, and we at KSTP are very pleased to be starting a new sporting tradition here in Minnesota, that of playing all 5 class championship games in high school football right here in the Dome. And working with me today, especially on the first game, Cal Stahl, who spent 30 years coaching this game of football. And Cal, I'll tell you, it's got to be a thrill for these youngsters.
Well, this is the greatest thing to happen to Minnesota football, I think, since Bronco Nagurski. We watched them come in here yesterday, Bob, and they're wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and excited, and it's going to be a great day of football.
Well, there's no doubt about it. We've got a lot of excitement for you all day long, but right now, let's go down to the field for the opening ceremonies of Prep Ball 1. Well, evidently, they're just not ready just yet. We're going to have quite a few bands onto the field for the opening ceremonies. And, of course, in the first game in Class B, Cal, it's going to be Le Center and Mahnomen, and it should be an exciting game.
Well, they're two good teams. They've Mahnomen lost the game.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first.
Scored on 4 times, and have had the last 6 games were shutouts, so it's going to be a good defensive battle.
Now I think they're ready down on the field, so let's go down for the opening ceremony.
Live from the Metrodome, KSTP Television presents Prep Bowl 1, the Class B championship game between Mahnomen and Le Center. Brought to you in part by Federated Insurance of Owatonna. Federated congratulates all participants in Prep Bowl 1.
Well, there you see some of the entertainment. We're going to have many marching bands entertaining us throughout the day from the high school ranks. This is Bob Bruce again with Cal Stahl back at the Metrodome. And Cal, let's check the schedule of what we're going to have for today, because we've got all 5 class championship games for you. It is indeed going to be an exciting day. We're going to start off with the Class B game, and that's coming up just moments from now between Le Center and Mahnomen. And then from there, we will move on to Class C, Truman against Belgrade at 12:45. Larry Burnett will be bringing you that game. And then a wild sort of affair. You won't want to miss this one, the 9-man championship between Fergus Falls Hillcrest versus Westbrook. And then later on tonight, Cal and I will return for the Class A championship game between Brooklyn Center and East Grand Forks. And then the big shootout in AA between Stillwater and Owatonna. And Cal, we've got 2 good teams here, Le Center and Mahnomen. Le Center very small, Mahnomen very big. It's going to really be a classic game between the big guy and the small guy.
Very interesting game. Mahnomen is a traditional dead tee, very simple offense, big, strong, runs hard north. Le Center is just the opposite. I watched him work yesterday, and I think I saw every formation, about every kind of play that there is in football. And they're an interesting team. Their largest person is 185, the average 165, and it'll be the big man against the little one.
Well, let's go down to the field now for the player intros.
Now we'd like to have both teams and their coaches line up on the hash marks, and the captains meet with the referee at midfield. The visiting team this morning wearing white is the Minnesota River Conference champion, Le Center Wildcats. Their captains are number 71, Jeff Christian, and number 55, Steve Dwyer. The home team, wearing maroon, is the Prairie Conference champion, Mahnomen Indians. Their captains are number 15, Ken McInerney, and number 73, Tom Petrick. Their coach, Ken Bauman. The captains will now meet with the referee, Chuck Hansen, for the toss of the coin. Mahnomen has won the toss and elects to receive. The center will kick off. Now will the remainder of the team and the coaches please step forward and shake hands for Minnesota Prep Bowl number 1.
There you have it, the player introductions, and the Mahnomen Indians versus the LaCenter Wildcats. Mahnomen, their head coach, of course, Ken Bauman, in his 14th year, his career record 119, 17 losses and 2 ties. And on the other side of the field for LaCenter, Jerry Walskog, his 17th year as coach at LaCenter. And Cal, we're going to see some interesting things take place in this game because LaCenter has a very small team, and we also have another fellow that's going to be working with us on the game today, and that's Rob Lear, who's on the sidelines right now. Rob?
Thank you very much, Bob, and good morning, everyone. For this Class B championship game, I'll be working this sideline and checking in with the coaches over strategy and, of course, with the trainers if there's any injuries to report. In short, I'll be the messenger service down here on the sidelines. You know, at 10 o'clock in the morning, that's an early start for any football game. But, Bob, the wake-up call for these football teams was 5 a.m., breakfast at 6. The adrenaline is flowing. They're ready. We're ready. Let's go back upstairs.
Well, we're just about ready for the opening kickoff here at the Metrodome. And as far as records are concerned, LaCenter unbeaten on the year, and Mahnomen, well, just 1 loss. They are 9-1. Mahnomen out of the Pine to Prairie Conference, and LaCenter winning the Minnesota River Conference. The Class B championship game, the first of 5 games in a row here on KSTP. LaCenter will be in the light uniforms.
I might add, Bob, that the only loss they had was to a Class A team.
This is Palmquist kicking off. And I think that's Sleddy up to about the, well, no, that's Muckenhern. Ken Muckenhern, the quarterback, up to around the 29-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Mahnomen Indians. A 13-yard kickoff return for Mahnomen. And there you have it, the backs and receivers for the Indians: Muckenhern, Stock, Sleddy, Liebel, Christensen, and Tomervik. The backfield and the ends. And they run out of a full house backfield. The fake, and then the give off the tackle is to number 35. Vollmer on the tackle. Running the football, Steve Sleddy for Mahnomen. 5'11", 160-pound senior. And up front, Mahnomen, a good offensive line. There you see Lavoie, Peterick, Marachik, Foss, and Björk. And a pretty good size offensive line for a Class B school. 215, 205, 190, 175, 200. They're pretty good size up front. And of course, LaCenter, very, very small. And there's LaCenter jumping offside. Dave Pudwell started a little bit early. And Coach, LaCenter does quite a few different things, both with their offense and their defense, to offset that lack of size with splits, and they do a lot of jumping around, and they put a lot of people up on the line trying to confuse that offensive line.
Their defense is basically 4-4, but then they have 8 men at the line of scrimmage, and they scatter all over the place. And you watch them jump into all kinds of different sets, Bob.
Just underway, Class B championship game. 2nd down, 2 to go with the ball on the 37-yard line. The Mahnomen Indians in the dark uniforms. This is Muckenhern with a give to Liebel, and Liebel is smothered at the line of scrimmage. LaCenter's number 71, Jeff Christian, on the tackle. Now let's run down the defense for you for LaCenter. Christian, Pudwell, McMillan, and Riebel. Those are the guys up front. Back in the linebacking position, Beer, Dwyer, Vollmer, Germscheid, Trexler, Palmquist, and Anderson back deep. As we said, they play basically a 4-4 defense, but don't be surprised if you see almost 8 people up on the line. They really mass up there up front. Muckenhern keeps, now gives off right tackle, and with some running room is Charlie Stock, and he's over the 40-yard line to around the 43 before Todd Anderson of LaCenter comes up with the tackle. And that'll be a 1st down for the Indians.
That's that inside belly play. They fake the first man, give to the second man off tackle, and that's kind of their bread and butter. That's the bread and butter of what they do. The fake to the fullback, and then the handoff to the tailback or the halfback off tackle.
So that brings up a 1st and 10 situation. The ball on the 43-yard line. 10 minutes remaining here in the first quarter of the Class B championship game. This is Mahnomen with the football. That's Muckenhern. He's going to keep it, and he gets across the line of scrimmage, picks up 2 or 3 yards before he's brought down by number 11, Todd Anderson, and number 50, Dave Hudwell. This La Center defense is a very good defense. In fact, they have 8 shutouts on the year, including the last 6 games in a row, so they don't give up a lot of points.
4 touchdowns for the season, which is pretty darn good defense.
2nd and 7, ball on the 46. Ken Muckenhern, quarterback 2 years ago on the state championship team. He's a 3-year starter, lots of experience. He keeps the ball, but La Center with fine defensive play in that defensive line up front. Rick Beer on the tackle along with Jeff Christian.
Little timing problem there, Bob. I don't think he wanted to keep that ball. I think he intended to give it to the halfback here, as you see, and missed the halfback, and then, of course, had to keep it himself.
Charlie Stock appeared to be just a little bit too far out.
Yeah, it was a timing problem.
Well, now they've got a 3rd down and 6 situation. The ball sits at the 47-yard line. No score between Mahnomen and La Center. You'll see just about every formation in the world here today. They do a lot of shifting, a lot of different formations. That's a give up to Charlie Stock, and he's got some running room, and he's got a 1st down for the Indians. Todd Traxler coming up with the tackle for La Center. Charlie Stock, 989 yards on the year and 9 touchdowns.
Counter trap. Take the fullback inside and give it to the left halfback, off tackle on the trap. Awfully good play, misdirection play, and it worked very well for him.
1st and 10 with the ball on the 46, and Cal, I'm kind of impressed. They seem very settled. They don't seem too nervous, and I tell you, to play in a building like this as a high school kid, you have to really be up. Here's the give. It's up front now. That's Charlie Stock, and Charlie's got some more running room.
That's an isolation off a power I. Their other base formation is a power I. They'll take that right halfback and set him in a deep I formation. And in that particular play, they run the 2 lead backs in front and give it to the tailback.
There you see what Charlie Stock has done this year for the Mahnomen Indians. Mahnomen with just 1 loss on the year. As they come up to the line, 2nd down and 4 with the ball on the 40-yard line. 1st quarter action, no score. Man dropping back is Sleddy in motion. The give is up the middle. Bob Vollmer on the tackle. This La Center team, I talked to the coach the other day, Ken Bauman, and they like to run the full house tee, but as you can see so far here that they have quite a few other formations. They have averaged, though, 4 fumbles a game throughout the year, losing 3. So they have had some problems holding on to the football. But the running game extremely strong. This is Ken Muckenhern. The give out of the full house is off to number 27. That's Charlie Stock, and Charlie has been the workhorse here today for the Mahnomen Indians as he picks up a 1st down before he's pulled down by Rick Beer and Todd Traxler of La Center. That'll move the ball down into La Center territory just inside the 35-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10, 6:52 remaining here in the 1st quarter. No score.
That's their bread and butter play, Bob. That's that inside belly again. You'll see them do that a lot. Fake the 1st man through and give it to the other man with the front back leading and kicking the end out, which gives you a pretty nice off tackle hole.
Well, they keep everybody pretty much in tight. The old power I formation. This is Muckenhern, who wants to hand it off, and a fumble right there, and the whistle had blown. So we had talked just a moment ago about the problems of holding on to the football, and there Muckenhern, Steve Rabel, and Rick Beer trying to come up with the football, but Muckenhern had trouble holding on to it and really wanted to hand that football off.